So hello and welcome back to Gumardee's Coins and Banknotes. My name is Glenn and today we are looking at the date differences in 1952 pennies. So we're not going to look at any other error. So like this one has lamination, we're going to exclude that from the video. I've made other videos on this type of error coins before. So in the 1952 date system, first of all we have two different mints. We have the Melbourne with no mint mark. We have the Perth with the mint mark after A. And it seems that both of these have differences in the 5 and the 2. Most of the differences are in the 2. And I do see some differences in the 1, in which the Perth mint one looks like it's more concave, and the Melbourne one is pretty much just straight. Don't see any differences in the 9. Now the 5, you can see that there are two differences in the 5. So what we have, if I can get the pen out, so that's what I use to point. Okay, so we do have a Sharif going up and down. So this is the Melbourne mint. On the Perth mint, doesn't seem we have any of that stuff. And also the actual rounding of the 5. So this is more rounded, like a 0. This one starts flat, but it doesn't curve in as much towards the top of the 5. And also this one, the part going down is straight. Sorry, I don't know the terminology of these numbers. But on the 5, it is at an angle. So that's the two differences if we compare it with other 5s. So that looks similar to this one, although the 5 does show some variation. That's pretty much, yeah, that's the same as that. And these are all Perth mint pennies. But there is slight variation in the execution of the 5 in these Perth mint pennies. Like we have the bottom of this 5 is actually curved, bottom of this 5 is pointed, but also it does curve up a lot more, like this 5 here. But all of them have the straight, narrow neck. So, and also this top of the 5 juts out more behind the actual curve. This one looks a lot shorter. So there is substantial variation in the 5 that I've just recognized now. Okay, so the second thing that we have is we have the 2. So in the Perth penny, we have the 2 with the straight neck going down, and then we have the 2 with the curved neck. So I'm talking about this part here going down, but there is also differences in the tail. So this is the tail that curves up to a point. This one curves up. This one is pretty much flat as it goes down straight. This one's at an angle. This one doesn't have much of a tail. And this one has a box. And they called it a square end. And they call these sloped ends. But this one has a sloped end, but it's more prominent than the ones. Okay, so this one looks similar, but also different. Probably because this part here is quite narrow, and here it's thick. So I would say I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of the varieties on the 2. If you look in the Renix error catalog, how many they got? They got 1, 2, 3, 4. They got 5. So I'm missing one. And it looks like it is supposed to be a square box at the end, but it is a lot smaller. This one is probably the scarcest. But in the error catalogue, doesn't have this type of variety. Okay, so these are not errors. I should also say these are varieties because they were purposely made that way. An error is pretty much something that's not purposely made. You know, like, where's the lamination I had before? Oh yeah, that's an error. It's not supposed to be on there. They never designed it that way. But the variety is just differences in the engraving. This is probably because they would have come from different mints, I would say. And probably this is because the Perth and Melbourne Mint probably finalised and finished the actual design. Could also be that these have been re-engraved, but who knows? I've not researched it and I haven't read anything about it. So when you get 52 pennies, make sure you check for these type of varieties. Now this one here is classed as R7, which means probably about 100 of them known. But I'd say it's probably just one die, so, or even just a few, so probably a few thousand. So what would be the mintage of these two coins? Okay, so being the last year of issue of the George VI, the Melbourne is 240,000. Perth is 12 million, but it seems that the price for low value coins is pretty much the same. These ones, yeah, that will be in error, so probably about $5 to $10 for that. This one is ghosting. This is probably a very fine coin, yeah, only about $1 or $2. But I've kept these pretty much, yeah, this is probably in fine condition, and only because it is a variety that I've actually kept it. This one here, 1952, Perth Mint as well, 12 million. I've only kept it. Yeah, don't spit on your coins, so it's probably fine condition as well. In America, it'll be very fine, but it's got a lamination on it. And this one also looks like it has doubling on the date. So that is probably an effect of the engraving process. Or it just could be probably a grease strike. Don't know about that weird effect on the coin. Also check HP. I'm not too sure. Sometimes that's missing. Sometimes a bar. Yes, that one's nearly gone, but it's probably just because of wear. Sometimes the bar on the H has disappeared as well. So that's pretty weak. Yeah, see, it looks like yeah, there you go. So that's what I was looking for before. Looks like the bar in between the H is actually probably had some oil or something in it, which has prevented it from being stamped. So that's another error. That would just be a die fill. So anyway, I hope this helps you with your penny coins, 1952, and not really an interesting coin, but just the last year of the actual monarch itself. Anyway, thank you very much. Have an awesome coin and banknote collecting time, and take care. Thank you and goodbye.